Hi and welcome to another video tutorial. In this tutorial I will actually talk about the most uh, asked question about the grid view, that how can I export my grid view to an Excel file. In this video tutorial I will start from scratch and I will show you how you can export your grid view to an Excel. So let's start with adding a new ASPX page, a web form. So we'll add this web form. Now the first thing we have to do is to create a grid view. So we will just create it using the HTML view, grid view ID, and we'll call it my grid view. Run at server. There you go. If you see in the design mode, you will see a blank grid view being created. The next step is to populate the grid view with some data, and then later we can export that data into the Excel file. So let's populate our grid view with some data. And I will be using SQL Server 2000 database with the table which is NorthWind. NorthWind table is installed by default when you install SQL Server 2000. So using system.data.sql client, and let's make a very simple function which will simply populate the data. SQL connection, my connection, and I will just type in the server name over here, which is localhost, and database is NorthWind. Trusted connection equal to true. I will be using SQL data adapter to fill the data in a dataset. You can use any type of technique to fill your container. Select all from categories, where categories is actually a table in the NorthWind database. Dataset, and then fill the dataset. Finally, bind the dataset to the grid view. Now I want this function or this method to execute only the first time when you load the page and not on every page load. So I will simply do if postback. If it's not equal to postback, then bind the data. Okay, when you run this application, so you can see that your data grid or your grid view is populated with some data. And here you go. We have a category ID, column, category name, and the description. The next step for us is to make a simple button whose whole purpose is to export the grid view to Excel file. Export to Excel. Button, let's call it button export to Excel. Okay, and let's implement the on-click event. What we'll be doing is we will read the information or the data from the grid view and we will attach it to the response stream, and then when you click the button it will ask you to open the file from the current location or to save the file on your desktop or wherever you want to save it on your hard drive. So let's do this. First thing, clear the response. If there is anything out there which is still in the response, just clear it. Then we have to attach the header. So add the header, content, disposition, and we will have an attachment. So we will attach something to the header. Okay, so let's say the file name, let's say, and this is called my Excel file.xls. So we have attached the header now. Okay, so the file will be exported as my file.xls. You can of course modify this name on the fly. You can take the input from the user and just name, use it over here instead of a constant name. Next step, what type of content we are exporting. So we are exporting spawn.content type is application XLS, meaning we are exporting a type of file which is Excel file. Next we will use the string writer, and since the namespace is not added, so I will just press Shift Alt and F10 and add the namespace. Then I will add HTML text writer, which will take as an argument of string writer. Next step is to export or to render our grid view on to the HTML text writer. So we will type mygridview.render control and HTML text writer. Now HTML text writer has everything. Response.write, and we can write the string writer dot to string, and in the end response.end. Okay, this is it. Run this application. Let's compile this. Okay, let's run this. Now when I click on the export to Excel, it should give me an error. Okay, let's see why. It says control my grid view of type grid view must be placed inside the server tag, right? So you go and the first thing you'll do, you check that, hey, this is a format server, and this ends over here, and my grid view is inside here. So what is the error? I mean, why am I getting the error, right? So you're getting the error because you need to implement one more method. You need to override verified rendering in server form method and just make it blank. Meaning, what does this method mean? This means that your control can be rendered at runtime. You can modify the rendering mechanism, you can modify the rendering scheme at runtime, and that is what you're doing. You are rendering your grid view at runtime to this HTML text writer. Okay, so now if you run this application and if you click on export to Excel, a window pops up with the, as you can see, the name of the file is myexcelfile.xls. It's an Excel file, Microsoft Excel worksheet. It also shows you how many bytes it has, which is 926 bytes. You can save it or you can open it. So I'll just open it, open the file, and you will see the data that is being displayed is same as it was being displayed for the screen, right? So I hope you like this video tutorial, and it's a very small tutorial, okay, and I hope you solve your problems by using this tutorial. Now some of the people were having problems, although I just showed you how to export it, but some of them were other problems like verified rendering can only be called during something and something. For that reason, you can have validate request equal to false. Now what this does, I don't recommend this doing, but if that's the only reason, I mean that's the only way that you can achieve the export to Excel, you can use this. I wasn't using this, and as you see, I was able to export the file to the Excel. What validated request equal to false means is that all your requests will not be validated when they are sent back to the server after the postback. As a result of the postback, actually, this actually opens a little bit of hole, a security hole, but I'm not really sure why most of the people were having actually different problems, but I'm pretty sure that you will be able to export using the code that I type. And if you have any problem within GridView Guy, or email me and I'll be glad to help you. I hope you like the video. Thank you very much.